I've been watching for some days, and this is not unique to New Zealand, that in the midst of what is a global issue, as you would expect, there are a number of rumours that circulate. I am present on social media, I see it myself. I cannot go around and individually dismiss every single rumour I see on social media, as tempted as I might be. So instead I want to send a clear message to the New Zealand public. We will share with you the most up-to-date information daily. You can trust us as a source of that information. You can also trust the Director General of Health and the Ministry of Health. For that information, do feel free to visit at any time to clarify any rumour you may hear, covid19.govt.nz. Otherwise, dismiss anything else. We will continue to be your single source of truth. We will provide.
So you basically said this is going to be like, well, it's almost like, you probably don't see it like this, the two different classes of people. If you're vaccinated or if you're unvaccinated, you have all these rights. If you are vaccinated...
That is what it is, so yep.
Can you describe, as you were previously hoping not to have to do that, I guess, when we still looked like we could maintain elimination across the whole country? I guess that has now changed because...
I think it was less because necessarily of the elimination determining that, and more because we, of course, maintained, and actually we have managed very high vaccination rates, generally, without the use of certificates. But actually what it's become clear to me is that they're not just a tool to drive up vaccines, they're a tool for confidence. People who have been vaccinated will want to know that they're around other vaccinated people. They want to know that they're in a safe environment. It is a way that we can give confidence to those who are going back into hospitality or events. And so that is something that I think we should offer to people who have been vaccinated, that confidence that we're doing everything we can to keep them safe, and that they can come back out and start enjoying those things safely.
You than me. Will people, second question, will people who refuse to take the COVID-19 vaccine be banned from travelling internationally or be on the end of tax penalties, says Dan? Good question.
No, but, and we haven't, for any vaccination in New Zealand, applied penalties in that way. But I would say, Dan, for anyone who doesn't take up an effective and tested and safe vaccine when it's available, that will come at a risk to them.
Yes, so will you, in this country, have sanctions against people who don't take or aren't vaccinated against COVID?
No, we haven't done that because actually when you look at the levels of vaccination we managed to reach in New Zealand, they are high. People talk about anti-vaxxers. It's actually the bigger issue in New Zealand is more of what Dr. Bloomfield calls vaccination hesitancy. It's not people who are strongly morally opposed. It's more people who just need a bit of extra support, remove the barriers, a bit more information.
But no penalties if you don't?
I see no reason to do that. We get up well over 90% for our vaccinations without that, and I believe we will for this.
While waiting to hear if he could leave MIQ early, on Monday, Rael's mum rang to tell him his dad had died. Being Jewish, his dad needs to be buried within 48 hours, but Rael's application to go to the funeral was rejected this afternoon.
Are we being too hard-nosed when it comes to compassionate exemptions, Prime Minister? No, I don't think so. Are we being too hard-nosed when it comes to compassionate exemptions, Prime Minister? No, I don't think so. Prime Minister? No, I don't think so.
Early next year we'll be in the phase of chasing up people who haven't come forward to get their vaccination or have missed their bookings and so on. So everyone will be able to get a vaccine between now and the end of the year. But of course, and I want every New Zealander to come forward, but human behaviour suggests that there will be some people that we have to actually really go out and look for, and some of that may spill into next year. But our commitment is everyone will have the opportunity to get the vaccine by the end of the year. Everyone will, but I can't say that, that we're not going to have some hesitant people or some people.
After the rest of New Zealand has been vaccinated, will you vaccinate the port workers?
They're
Simple
amongst
yes
the
or no.
first in the queue.
Okay.
Now, would you consider ankle bracelets for people in self-isolation?
Yes. Someone raised with me the question over whether or not we'd use, for instance, the equivalent of home detention bracelets. It is actually one of the things we're actively considering, so it gives you an idea of how seriously we're taking this pilot.
It is nice, isn't it, to hear of some kind of light at the end of a tunnel and the idea that the borders will be opening up. The other thing is the idea around a home detention bracelet.
Yeah, this will get a lot of people going.
Yeah, I know in Hong Kong, here's one here. This is what they're running in Hong Kong. This is obviously not on the ankle, this is on the wrist. This has been happening since 2020. All people aged 6 and over with them. I'm not quite sure how you do the dishes.
No, and you shower in them, you sleep in them.
That means the simplest thing New Zealanders can do to stop the spread of the virus is don't talk to your neighbours. A way that we could keep vaccinated people safe from those who have not been. A way that we could keep vaccinated people safe from those who have not been.
Paddy, for health reasons, I think there's nothing wrong from New Zealanders cutting back on meat, but for our exporters, actually, we produce such a small portion.
So meat-free Mondays are a thing where you kind of into it?
Look, for health.
Paddy, yes, of course you can. Just go on, sorry.
Okay, so number one, if you're going to eat meat...
Meat-free Mondays are meat-free Mondays are your into it.
No, if you're going to eat meat, eat New Zealand meat, because our meat producers are the best in the world and we have the lowest level of carbon emissions for our meat. So if you're going to eat it, eat New Zealand meat every single time. And no, I'm not going to tell people when they can eat their meat. I'm not into communism. I'm actually, or fascism. I'm actually into democracy. People can make their own minds up. It's their money, it's their meat, it's their bodies.